they've not named which party, but they asked all sides to exercise maximum restraint. Is that also something that we would like to add to it, add our voice to it?
Add to what, sir?
Add our voice to the call of restraint in the region.
Okay, I think I've taken almost all the... You have something? Okay, please go ahead.
So the Palestinian envoy to India yesterday in an interview said that he would ask India to intervene and will de-escalate the whole issue. What's India's position on that?
He has told, I mean, us or just the media? Okay. And for the record, if you could tell your name and so I'll help.
Sorry, this is Rishabh from Times, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to answer many of these questions. No, I think second thoughts, let's keep it for a little later. I think there are a lot of similar questions. Look, I think on this, you've seen the statements or the comments by Prime Minister. I think that's been very clear on them. But let me try to answer some of the specific queries that you had. Let me first look at Operation Ajay. Look, as I said, the flight is expected to, the ferry flight is expected to reach today later in the evening, and then hopefully they'll pick up passengers and come back tomorrow morning. We expect, I think it can carry about 230 odd passengers. That's what we are hoping can fill it up, but depending, look, this number is broad. You know, how many people can get onto a flight is determined by various factors, including what is the flight parameters. So let's say in that range, we were trying to work that out. So that was one. Do we have, आपने पूछा था संदीप जी कि हमारे वायुसेना के अगर जी हमारे पास सारे ऑप्शंस हैं, जो ज़रूरत पड़ेगा हम वो यूज़ करेंगे. अभी के लिए चार्टर फ्लाइट गई हैं, पर जैसे हमने कहा हमने पुराने कुछ ऐसे स्थितियों में हमारे वायुसेना का भी असिस्टेंस लिया है. तो अभी के लिए हम अभी चार्टर फ्लाइट देख रहे हैं, पर ये मैं रूल आउट नहीं करूँगा. There was a query, Siddhant, about people being taken on this side. Look, that I think you would ask the Israeli embassy. We have chartered a flight for bringing people back. So how it happens, talk to the charter organization and the embassy. I think it's the best to answer your query on that one. There's no barter. Then there was a query of how many Indians wahan pe. I think Meghna, you asked that question. How many Indians? Look, this is a dynamic situation. It's evolving. There are a lot of people. In fact, I would request Indians in Israel, if you haven't registered with the embassy, please do register with the embassy. But we are taking it based on the number of flights. So today's flights, we have the numbers that are there, and we will have more flights depending on the demand for them. So at this point, we are trying to address it as per the demands. As regards security concerns, look, this is a topic and I will not be in a position to discuss. You have to ask the agencies. We will, of course, as part of our obligations on the Vienna Convention, provide all necessary security to countries that have their embassies or diplomatic missions here. But what measures and etc. is best left to the judgment of experts in that field. I don't want to comment on it. I think you had a query, Siddhant, right in the beginning about weapons of support. I'm not aware of any such request or anything that we are doing at all. Our focus right now is to make sure that those Indians who are in Israel are able to come out of Israel, those who want to. I think there are about 18,000 odd Indian citizens. A small percentage of that are Indian students. Others are caregivers and other categories of professions. So we are in touch with them, and let's see what happens. You said how worrisome is the situation? Of course, look, a situation where there is conflict going on is of concern, but I would request the Indian citizens there to follow the advisories issued by our mission in Tel Aviv, and they are the best judge, and be cautious, take the precautions, and if they feel that they need assistance, to reach out to our embassy directly. Ayushi, you asked about one citizen who was there, I think, injured. Yes, we are aware of that case. Of course, we are in touch with them. I understand the person is in hospital, but I think it's improving or has better situation. We are also, of course, thankfully have not heard of any Indian casualty so far. I think there was also a question by Yeshi. Are you looking at evacuation or There's not so much an evacuation as actually getting focus is on assisting people. Getting out is, I think my understanding the number is about a dozen or 13 or something, or dozen odd people are in the West Bank and 3 or 4 in Gaza. So if they request assistance, we will. But that number, as you can imagine, is very small, and we will see what needs to be done. For the moment, we haven't received requests there. The requests what we have received are largely from Israel. Moving on to the discussions that have happened largely on this. Look, let me try to answer some of those. On the issue of how we see Hamas, for example, as you're aware, the designation of a terrorist organization under Indian laws is a legal matter. And I would refer you, I think Milan, you asked, I would refer you to the relevant authorities in this. I think we've been very clear that we see this as a terrorist attack. But on the designation part, the relevant authorities are best placed to respond to it. How do we see the situation on Palestine, or our position on that? Our policy in this regard has been long-standing and consistent. India has always advocated the resumption of direct negotiations towards establishing a sovereign, independent and viable state of Palestine, living within secure and recognized borders, side by side, at peace with Israel. And I think that position remains the same. There were some queries about how do we see the developments that are happening, including the violence that's taken place, as well as did Prime Minister raise some issues, including I think Prime Minister conversation or his comments stand on their own, and I think they do not require any clarification. On Palestine, as I mentioned, we have said our position on what is our long-standing position. The only element that I would like to add is that there is regarding particularly the humanitarian situation or the developments you said, I think restraint, Devirupa, you had asked, and Rishabh, I think you had asked about whether the intervention, I don't know what you meant by intervention. As I said, our focus is to assist our citizens. But there is an universal obligation, I think, to observe international humanity.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.